Hello and welcome to a slightly contentious guitar video this time. I'm talking about the Les Paul, or rather my trials and tribulations with the Gibson Les Paul. Now let's be honest, it's one of the most successful guitars ever built. It's not short on popularity, and the most expensive guitars in the world these days, unless they were owned by a celebrity, of course. Or the Gibson Burst, the 59 in particular. So they're highly lauded. So they are probably arguably the most lusted after guitars in the world as well. So why have I been struggling with these? I've been scratching my head thinking a little bit about this today, and it's a couple of things really. First up, I've never been happy with the position. Well, not so much the position, but the height of that pickup ring there. It's a good centimetre, it's not more than a centimetre above there. When I'm playing down, let's have a look. Let's switch the amp on. Always helps me switch the amp on. When I'm strumming down there and picking. Position the bridge and that, it just seems to put me in a place I don't feel comfortable in, really. The second thing I'd say is the maple cap. I should think nearly everybody watching this will know how Les Paul's constructed, but if you don't, it's a mahogany body and it's got a maple cap, which is, probably not quite a centimetre thick, I would imagine, on here. We're looking at the binding, but almost that. It's quite a hefty thing. And that adds a little bit of, on some Les Pauls, a really toppy sound. I'll just take the reverb on here, is courtesy of the Strymon Flint. I'll just take that for a minute. This one hasn't got that toppiness so much. There's a toppiness to it. Maybe I'm getting older. You can hear a little bit of it there. Apologies, this guitar's slightly out of tune, but I've been using it for another demo, another video. But yeah, there's a couple of things there really that I don't like. The third is the weight. Now, I'm not exactly slimmer of the year, let's put it that way, but I still, even for somebody my size, it's still a bit of a boat anchor. If you're going to do 2 1-hour sets, you're going to know about it. I'd say after about half an hour, you really start to know about the weight on it. This one I'd put in the, it's in the middle zone in terms of weight. But I have tried ones, especially from the sort of late 70s, early 80s period, when the wood supplies were allegedly running low and stocks were running low, so they were having to go and use the sort of heavier woods that that hadn't dried out, so they weren't as old and much dried out, so they were heavier basically. And some of those are ridiculously heavy, like plus 10 pounds, ridiculous. So that's another thing I've never been keen on. Then you've got this fella here, the nut and this angle of this headstock. I mean, headstock break on a Les Paul, I mean, that's a thing of legend, isn't it? There's so many people have that happen to them. That angle there and the way it goes over the nut. It can create all sorts of tuning problems. This one, the nut has been cut really, really well, and the actual neck itself, it's a 58, it's an R8 58 from 2011. The neck is a baseball thing. It's a club, really, honestly. It's the biggest neck of any guitar I've got, but that means it's very stable. It does not move. I have not hardly touched this guitar since I've owned it in terms of setup. It's just stayed rock solid. So yeah, I appreciate my luck there, but that's why I got this guitar. It's one of only 3 I've ever tried out over the years that I actually got on with, and I've tried, I don't even know how many tried over the years. That kind of reminds me of a story. back in the early 80s and that, you know, my first ever serious band I was in, and the other guitar player, Steve, he worked in this guitar shop at weekends and school holidays, like in the sixth form, and he's only 16. Lovely fella. He had a Les Paul Deluxe anyway. Yeah, a nice guitar. No, Scott got on Thin Lizzy. You may remember seeing pictures of him back in the day. It's got the small mini humbucker, so nice guitars. I think they do that. They stopped making them again now. But, excellent. But Steve, seeing my predicament, because I only had a rubbishy Strat copy that never stayed in tune with weirdy pickups. Every time we did a gig, he'd say to the owner of the shop, my mate, he's in the market for a new Gibson, like, but he just wants to try a few first. He says, if I take that one, you know, and he tries it at the gig, he says if he likes it, he'll buy it. But you know, which is fine, like. But of course, I never did buy one off him. It was like, hey, we did all these gigs over this period of about a couple of years, and yeah, I never bought a single one off the poor bloke. So, you know, I just kept borrowing them, and people who regularly watched us must have thought I was one of the richest guitar players in England at the time, because every time they saw me, I either had a different Les Paul or an SG, like, you know. It was mainly Les Pauls, and I have to say, every single one of them, and I'm not being ungrateful when I say this, I was really happy to have the opportunity to try these out live, and it's far better than my Strat copy. But I've got to say, that's what put me off for Les Pauls for life. There's some horrendous ones, really real planks at that period of time. So thankfully these days Gibson have got their act together now, you know. It's a new CEO in there, and they're going forwards now, and giving people what they want again. But that's a tale of old, and that's probably one of the big reasons that put me off the Les Paul. So, but having said that, most guitar players, if they can afford it, and I'm lucky enough to be in that position, they want to own one. It's one of the sort of big 4 or 5 guitars that people want to own. You know, for recording and the odd thing up here, playing and that, when you want a heavy meaty sound, this is the guitar. So we'll get in there and give it a bit on that neck pickup. So you get the picture, the Gibson Les Paul. It's iconic. It's an amazing design, and it's an old design now, really. But I just wanted to, you know, make this sort of video about my trials and tribs with this guitar. I've never bonded really with a Les Paul. This is the closest I've got with this one, and I don't know. I just find it odd, you know. Some people are the same with Strats and Tellys or whatever, 335, whatever it might be. Yeah. And then they go on to another type of guitar, and you know, they struggle a little bit. But I tend to get on with the Strat, the Telly, like I say, the V and the 335, no problems with it at all. As soon as I get on this, I'm working, pardon me, had a curry fatigue. I'm working extra hard, and I'm just not comfortable. I am so self-conscious, if that makes any sense. Not to say I don't love this guitar, I really do, and I think I've got lucky with this one. It's a cracker, and I'll never part with it. You know, it's I don't buy guitars as investments and that or anything like that. They're there to be played, but when I'm long gone to that gig in the sky, you know, my two lads there can argue the toss over this one. They don't play guitar at the moment, and neither have shown any interest. So, but they're still. I don't think this is going to lose its value. Put it that way. So we're ending on a positive note with the Les Paul. Really, they keep their value no matter what. So it just remains for me to say thanks for watching. Not a lot playing in this, a bit more banter than usual. You know, just wanted to get this one off my chest. So just remains for me to say, I'll see you later. Take care, guys. Bye.